Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second Facebook Live at lunchtime. My name is Lisa Evans, and I'm with the Division of Waste Management in Frankfort, and I work for the Recycling and Local Assistance Branch. I took my mask off because we are social distancing today, so it's easier to talk without the mask on. Our branch works with 8 different grant programs, and one of our most popular grant programs is the Crumb Rubber Tire Derived Products Grant. And so today I'm going to talk a little bit about it. It can be used to do a poured-in-place playground like the one I'm standing on. It can do a poured-in-place walking trail. You could purchase benches and picnic tables made out of recycled tires. It could be used for landscaping and among other types of tire-derived products. These grants are funded through the Waste Tar Fund, which is the $2 fee that is placed on each new tire purchased in the state of Kentucky. This grant has become a very competitive grant again. Back when we used to do the loose crumb rubber on playgrounds, I would get close to $2 million every year in grant applications, and at that time I had $1 million I was able to give away. But since then, we no longer do the loose crumb rubber, and we're just now getting into the poured in place, and I've just been able to do about $400,000 or $500,000 a year with this grant. I'm back up to getting about 1.2 and 1.3 million in applications every year. So it has, once again, like I said, become very, very competitive. The grant is available every year on February 1st and due back by April 1st. And then we issue the money in May. The project is to be completed by December 31st of that year. And then you have closeout reports and progress reports to follow up, because we want to see how it's holding up, how the citizens like it, and different things. This is what the poured-in-place crumb rubber on a playground looks like. This happens to be one of the color, and then it's on this and on a rock base then, so it can drain, has good drainage. Of course, the one I'm standing on is my favorite color. It's the blue. But it's so soft, you could just... I'm bouncing on it. I mean, it's just wonderful. Once this is placed on a playground, it makes it ADA accessible. You could push a wheelchair across it. You could push a stroller across it. Many different things. So it makes it a lot more usable to people to come to the playground, and also for those with disabilities that can come and enjoy the playground. Today we are at the inclusive playground at the Pavilion at Georgetown. It's located behind the pavilion that houses the Georgetown Scott County Parks and Recreation. The City of Georgetown applied for this grant in 2019 and to do the poured-in-place playground. And it was completed in the spring of 2020. They were awarded $61,920 just for this surfacing. And to complete the project, as I said, the grant paid for this beautiful surfacing here. And again, it makes it ADA accessible where all kids can use it. And it also makes it the playground more inviting and beautiful instead of just wood mulch out here, and it just makes it a lot more beautiful. The grant paid for the surfacing, but the city added the new playground equipment. So I have with me today Kim Rice, who is the director of the Scott County Parks and Rec, and she will give you more details about the project and the equipment and tell how much it is used and when it is open to the public.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm so excited that you're joining us today. We installed this playground prior to receiving the grant from the state, and we had mulch and we had pour-in-place pathways that were what was within our budget at the time. And about a year after we installed the playground, we had the opportunity to apply for the Pour in Place grant through the crumb rubber tire derived grant through the state to be able to finish the project and to make the entire playground accessible through that Pour in Place. Yes, it had mulch, but when we first put it into the inclusive pieces, we did have small trails of Pour in Place. And there were issues with that because it was hard for kids who had mobility issues to get to all the parts of the playground. So we were so excited to be awarded that grant and to be able to, what we felt was complete the project at that time. And the community has really embraced this playground. It is what I call our only completely inclusive playground. We get a lot of support from our special needs teachers from the school system. They bring their kids out here. They actually helped with the fundraising for this initial playground, and their kids helped fundraise for the initial playground. So it was just a fantastic opportunity for us, and I'm so thrilled that we were able to get the grant for this for our community.
So when did the playground open?
Well, with the Pour in Place, which we consider complete, it opened in March of 2020. Yes.
And as everyone knows, that's right before the pandemic.
Right before the pandemic, absolutely.
So they had to shut it back down, but...
Yes. But as soon as we opened the playgrounds, all of our playgrounds countywide in the fall, this gets used a lot, and it gets used by able-bodied kids, and it also gets used by kids that have mobility issues. And the whole point of an inclusive playground is to give a place for everybody to be able to play. And I felt like having this complete Pour in Place surfacing does that for us.
And there are a lot of pieces of equipment here that someone in a wheelchair can sit in their wheelchair and be on this piece of equipment and still be able to swing back and forth and different things. So an all-inclusive playground is wonderful. And I'm happy that we get to work with this grant program to get the surfacing, which is the expensive part of it. Not as expensive as all the equipment, but this is something that's really needed for all of it.
And in a total playground about this size, it's about a third of the cost.
So what was the final cost of this whole playground?
I'd say it was right around $300,000 between the apparatuses and the Pour in Place.
Yep. So we did the $61,000 for the surfacing, and as you heard, it cost about $300,000. How big is it?
Oh, I don't know how big it is.
I didn't know the square footage of it. So.
Big enough that kids of all sizes and all ages get the opportunity to play on it. So, yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, can I ask a question about the recycling portion of it?
Yes.
Is it difficult to recycle tires? How does this fit into kind of the grander scheme of tire recycling?
Well, we have companies that takes tires and makes mulch out of them, and then that mulch is used with the poly, and it's melted down into this. This is what it actually looks like to begin with. And this is what they cut the tires down, and this is what you can still use in landscaping. And on the benches, I know they mix the benches, the waste tires for the benches and the picnic tables. It's made with waste tires and plastic mixed together. So it's using two recycling components for it. But the majority of it is the waste tire.
Another advantage of this type of surfacing is for maintenance.
Yes.
For playgrounds, we have to replace the wood chips every year to maintain the proper surface attenuation. So we're not using a wood-based product. Where you put it down and you have it for a certain lifespan of the product, so we have a lot less maintenance when it comes to that. And I feel like we're doing the right thing for the environment because we are using recycled products and we're not having to replace wood chips.
And another thing with wood chips, you get kids with splinters, and you also have insects that nest inside those wood chips. And you will not have that with anything that's tar derived. So Especially, I know that even snakes will get into wood chips, but they won't come near a tire.
No, that is correct.
Yes.
And we have had issues with that on other parts of our
Yeah.
playgrounds.
Okay.
Do you know about how many tires it would take to produce enough product for something?
Well, 1 ton equals 2.65 cubic yards. So
This is a lot of tires.
this is a lot of tires. Yeah.
Which would have been in our
Yeah.
landfills. This is a
Yes.
lot of tires.
An average, let me see if I remember this, an average tire, no, I don't have that with me. I better not even make that comment. I just went blank on it as many years as I've been working with them, but I just went blank. But I do know that with this, it says 1 ton equals 2.65 cubic yards. And it would take 14 cubic yards to make it 6 inches deep, which it used to be the requirement on the loops.
And these are Kentucky tires.
Yes, and these are Kentucky tires. That's a requirement of the grant. You have to use Kentucky tires in your product to be eligible for the grant. So everybody that has done all the funding with this have used Kentucky tires in the product.
It's a great way to help out our state.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Could you tell us about how people can apply if they're interested?
It's available every February 1st. It goes out through the news media that the application is available to apply for. And then they have to April 1st to get the application back to me. The application is on our website. And it's also, are you going to post a website on? Yeah. So the application will be on there. And like I said, we're in the process of reviewing the applications for this year. But there will be another round beginning next February 1st.
I was very glad to be included in this project.
Yeah. And I'm happy to have Kim here with us today. So, yeah. And I've got to know Kim through, I have been attending the Kentucky Recreation and Park Society conferences, and that's how I got to know Kim better, and along with a lot of the parks and rec people across the whole state. So it's a great conference if you get to go to it.
Yeah, and Lisa's done a great job of teaching recreation professionals across the state how to be able to utilize these resources for their community.
Yes.
So we've always been glad to have her join us and teach us how to be better stewards of our community.